The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, represent one of the most fascinating and mysterious myths in human history. Their existence has been debated for centuries, with many historians questioning whether they were actually built or are merely a legend. Despite the lack of direct archaeological evidence, their impact on the collective imagination is immense, becoming a symbol of architectural perfection, advanced engineering, and royal power. These legendary gardens, located in the grand city of Babylon, are linked to the reign of Nebuchadnezzar II, one of the most powerful rulers of Mesopotamia. Ancient Babylon was located in present-day Iraq, along the banks of the Euphrates River, one of the cradles of Mesopotamian civilization. Babylon became famous for its magnificence, but the Hanging Gardens are undoubtedly the element that made it immortal in myth. According to ancient historical sources, the gardens were built during the reign of Nebuchadnezzar II, between 605 and 562 BCE. He supposedly created them as a gift for his wife, Amytis of Media, who came from a mountainous and lush region and, far from her homeland, longed for a piece of nature resembling her native land. The reason for constructing the gardens was thus linked to love and Nebuchadnezzar's desire to fulfill his wife's wishes. Nebuchadnezzar II, besides being a skilled military commander, was also a great patron of art and architecture. During his reign, Babylon experienced an extraordinary artistic and architectural flourishing. In addition to the Hanging Gardens, he ordered the construction of the Ishtar Gate, an imposing entrance structure to the city decorated with blue glazed bricks, and the walls of Babylon, one of the most robust fortifications in ancient history. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were described as a complex of overlapping terraces that seemed to float in the sky above the city, supported by massive columns. Each terrace was covered with a variety of plants, trees, and flowers, creating the illusion of a suspended garden, like a lush multi-level forest. According to most descriptions, the gardens were between 23 and 30 meters high, and their size and beauty must have been impressive. The design of the gardens was an extraordinary combination of art, botany, and engineering. The upper terraces were irrigated by a complex system that likely drew water from the Euphrates River. The irrigation system was probably one of the most advanced of its time, and it is believed to have included a hydraulic pump that lifted water from the river to the upper levels. One of the most widely accepted hypotheses is that Nebuchadnezzar II used the Archimedean screw, a mechanism that allows water to be lifted using a rotating spiral. The plants in the gardens were cultivated in large pots or in soil contained within wide stone and brick basins. The variety of vegetation must have been remarkable, with exotic trees, tropical plants, and brightly colored flowers. Their cultivation, in an arid climate like that of Mesopotamia, represented an extraordinary challenge, yet the Hanging Gardens were described as lush and extraordinarily rich in vegetation. One of the most enigmatic aspects of the Hanging Gardens concerns their actual existence. Although they are mentioned by ancient historians such as Strabo, Diodorus Siculus, and Justin, no direct archaeological evidence has ever confirmed their physical existence. No remains or specific ruins of the gardens have ever been found in excavations in Babylon. Some scholars suggest that the gardens may have been destroyed over the centuries, possibly due to earthquakes, invasions, or natural degradation. Others argue that the description of the gardens might have been exaggerated or even entirely imagined, a sort of legend that took on a life of its own through the accounts of historians. Another hypothesis is that the gardens were confused with other structures in ancient Mesopotamia, such as those in Nineveh, the Assyrian capital, where King Sennacherib built elevated gardens similar in concept, though they never attained the legendary fame of Babylon's gardens. Some scholars have also suggested that the gardens were not physically suspended but that the terraces were simply elevated above the surrounding ground, still giving the impression of a garden hanging over the city. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon is the irrigation system used to maintain the vegetation in a region with a hot and dry climate. Historians believe that the gardens were supplied by an advanced hydraulic system that took advantage of the proximity of the Euphrates River. Despite the scarcity of sources describing the irrigation system in detail, modern theories suggest it consisted of canals, reservoirs, and screw pumps that lifted water from the river to the upper terraces. This innovation would have allowed a massive amount of water to flow continuously through the system, keeping the plants lush despite Mesopotamia's arid environment. This hydraulic system would have been an extraordinary engineering feat, showcasing Babylon's advanced technological capabilities. The Hanging Gardens were not only a symbol of love and beauty but also of power. They embodied the greatness of the Babylonian Empire and the ingenuity of its king, Nebuchadnezzar II. The gardens were meant to represent an expression of dominion over nature and a tribute to the magnificence of Babylon, one of the most powerful cities of the ancient world. The vision of the gardens had a profound impact on garden architecture in later eras. The idea of hanging gardens inspired the creation of terrace and rooftop gardens around the world, particularly in Renaissance architecture and modern urban constructions, where green terraces can be found on skyscrapers in contemporary metropolises. The hanging gardens are also mentioned in some biblical passages. According to some scholars, the gardens are referenced in connection with Nebuchadnezzar II, who is also the protagonist of a biblical story in which he is punished for his presumed arrogance and experiences a transformation of his mind, living like an animal due to his pride. The description of the gardens, though passed down by ancient historians and writers, can be seen as a product of collective imagination. The grandeur of Babylon and its king could easily have transformed into myth, with added fantastical details such as the garden's suspension in the sky, expressing the city's magnificence and power. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon remain one of the greatest mysteries in human history, a symbol of engineering, beauty, and grandeur. Although there is no concrete evidence of their existence, their legend continues to inspire scholars, architects, and artists worldwide. Whether they ever existed or not, the Hanging Gardens stand as a testament to the magnificence of ancient Babylon, one of the most extraordinary civilizations in history, capable of creating wonders that challenge both time and reality itself. Thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel to not miss upcoming videos.